Hi, I'm Suzi McAlpine, author of New Zealand's most popular leadership blog, The Leader's Digest. The growth of artificial intelligence and machine learning, like most transformational technologies, is both exciting and a little scary from a leadership perspective. In one recent Fortune 500 study, over 80% of chief executives researched cited artificial intelligence or machine learning as either extremely important or very important to their company's future success. So as a leader, you're going to want to get your head around both the opportunities and the implications of AI, and you might want to do that pretty quick smart. But don't worry, I've got you covered, because today I'm interviewing one of New Zealand's foremost experts in AI, Josh Comrie. Josh is co-founder and chief executive of Ambit, a New Zealand-owned technology company, artificial intelligence company that specialises in chatbot development. I want to turn to debunking myths, because one of the things that I've seen in researching this, there are so many myths out there around AI. So here's your platform. What are some of the biggest myths that you've seen surrounding AI, and what are the actual reality?
So according to Gartner and their hype cycle, the AI space, broadly speaking, which encompasses machine learning as one of the other key aspects of artificial intelligence, is at the peak of inflated expectations. So we're very early on in the evolution of the technology. Those who know the cycle will also know that we're about to drop into the trough of disillusionment, which means that those expectations were unmet, and therefore a lot of dissatisfaction came about from implementations of those technologies. I would propose that in New Zealand, we're a little further back the curve. So we're about to get into the peak of the inflated expectations. So what that means, practically speaking, is that there's a lot of both kind of marketing talk and hype that's surrounding this space around things that can or could be done that, practically speaking, we know cannot be done today.
Yeah.
And so the term that tends to get attached to these in the broader tech space is people are selling a lot of vaporware and a lot of dreams.
Yeah.
And so there's a particular large tech company that has an expression, give it to X, and I won't quote who X is, but if you know the give it to, then you'll probably understand the business that I'm referring to. And so X is a large supercomputing stack that has a whole bunch of artificial intelligence included in there. The supposition or the proposition is that that X will resolve any problem that you give to it. Now, that's really not true, because in practicality speaking, what needs to happen is that there's a whole bunch of engineers that go through the analysis and then the development to resolve the outcome, which means that you've got a typical project which will cost many millions of dollars. So that's kind of one of the first myths that's around this space at the moment. The second, and I think this one's really important, is that there needs to be a very strong business case surrounding any pursuit within AI. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't experiment and kind of have a bit of a go, because I do firmly believe that the returns and the rewards will be the greatest to those that are prepared to get in and have a bit of a go with this technology. Yeah. Don't immerse yourself from day one and expect it to change your business, because there's a lot of consumer adoption that needs to go through, and there's a lot of capability that needs to be established inside the organisation to deliver a really great outcome on behalf of all of the key stakeholders. So that means, business case the thing, effectively do a problem and a needs analysis thoroughly before you're getting into the development of this technology, which means development, test, iterate, learn, and then go back to development again. So just apply some kind of old school project methodology to implementing the technology. Don't expect to flick it on and it's going to fix all the problems in your business. The last, and this is the most unfortunate one, but again, given this is emergent technology, within any environment that this is the case, and the returns could potentially be huge, there are unscrupulous players that are coming up. And I read one just the other day, and I will quote the name because it's out in the public domain. David Farrier wrote an expose article on a piece of technology they were referring to as ZAC. We talked a second ago about the health space, and ZAC is supposedly a piece of technology that sits on the doctor's desks, listens to the story, the patient kind of discussing their ails, then takes in the diagnosis from the doctor, and then follows up on the treatment and the outcomes of the treatment. And they're saying that they've basically cracked the problem. Not a chance. I have zero belief that that is actually something that's working in reality today.
Wow.
They've also said they've built their own supercomputing stack, which based upon the numbers means they've spent multi-millions of dollars on a supercomputing stack, which why would you? You don't need to do that these days. But it talks to the fact that whenever there's opportunities, people kind of come into a space that only have the intent to line their own pockets and gain some fame along the way. And so that's a bit of a disappointing thing. So for those that are considering making forays into this arena, ensure that you have a very clear visibility in terms of the capability of what the technology is and the credibility of the people that are delivering that technology.
Yeah, that's really good advice.
Mm.